Welcome, everyone, to the Pick Six podcast, where we discuss the biggest stories in college football. I'm your host, Chris Cheng, and as a reminder, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Really helps us out here. Also, be sure to send us your story ideas to thepick6guys@gmail.com. Address in the description below. We want to know, what do you guys want to see and hear us talk about? We are in the midst of Kool-Aid season, spring season. We're hearing good things, bad things, not a lot of news, except for today. We have gotten the best news we have probably gotten out of the Hecht Athletic Center since the Natty. Miami choosing and offering an extension to both coordinators to keep them in-house. According to ESPN's Pete Thamel, the University of Miami has agreed to a new multi-year contract extension with both offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson and defensive coordinator Corey Hetherman. Now, there's no word on the length of that extension or what the pay increase will be, but that we do know it is a multi-year deal, solidifying Miami's coaching staff for the foreseeable future. Now, when we're talking about and guessing maybe what will be, because Miami is a private institution, they do not have to release what their contract is, what in terms of the length or the pay, but we can kind of go around the country, look at what other programs, similar programs are paying, kind of maybe deduce based on job opportunities for both coordinators, what they're getting paid. So offensive coordinators at elite P4 schools typically earn between about $1.5 million and $2 million. And those include names like Garrett Riley at Clemson and Andy Kotelnicki at Penn State. Now, when you get to the upper echelon of offensive coordinators like Mike Denbrock at Notre Dame and Mike Bobo at Georgia, regardless of what your opinions are on those guys, they're getting paid around $2.2 to $2.5 million. They're in that range, according to 247 Sports. Now, with the success here at Miami, coupled with the interest from other schools, I would be inclined to assume that Dawson is probably in that Denbrock Bobo range, making it to the championship game, being at Miami, a rising program, getting back to that elite level. So I'm going to assume he's probably going to be in that 2.2 to 2.5 range, especially when we get into talking about what I think Corey Hetherman will make. Because like on the other side of the ball, we know that Heatherman was set to make about $1.2 million at Minnesota before leaving to come down to Coral Gables. So what does that mean? How do you lure a guy who's getting a pay increase at his last job and to lure him down here? Well, not only are you getting an opportunity at a better program with better players, so that's probably alluring in itself, but you probably have to give him a little bit of incentive money-wise, because I am sure it is much cheaper to live in Minnesota, and the cost of living up there is much better than it is in Coral Gables. I will know from personal experience. So my assumption is that he probably, Corey Hetherman was probably offered about 1.5 to come down here. Remember that last year was his first season here. Incredible season. But when we look around the nation, you look at guys like Glenn Schumann, the DC at UGA, he makes about 2.2 million. Blake Baker at LSU is set to take home about 3 million this year. Kane Womack at Alabama makes about 1.5. And this is kind of the territory I think we're getting in with Corey Hetherman. With you have Tosh Lupoy at Oregon making about 1.9. You have Pete, I'm going to brutalize this guy's name and destroy it, but I think it's Kwiatkowski at Texas. He makes about 1.9 million as the defensive coordinator at Texas. So my guess is that Heatherman is probably going to be in the range of maybe 1.75 to 2 million as a coordinator. That's why I said I think that Dawson, who's been here longer, and let's just face it, offensive coordinators, the offense is kind of the golden child of any football team. I'm assuming that Dawson will probably get paid somewhere around 2.5 or in that range. And then you would have Corey Hetherman getting paid roughly around 1.75 to 2 million. Now, again, like I just told you, Miami is a private institution and they don't have to disclose what they're offering their coordinators. The extensions are designed to maintain stability in Coral Gables after what was a super strong and successful 2025 season, where both coaches were considered candidates for other head coaching jobs, not only in college football, but in the NFL as well. Now, this news comes as the Hurricanes enter their final week of spring practice and as Miami looks to build off its momentum from reaching the national championship game last season. So let's first look at Shannon Dawson and some of his accolades and why I think he is worth that 2.5 million. Shannon Dawson led the nation's top and total scoring offense in 2024, and he has helped develop top QB talent, including Cam Ward, Carson Beck, and now Darian Mensa. Now, did he discover these guys? Did he raise these guys since they were pups? Did he make them who they were? Not necessarily, but did he take both Cam Ward and Carson Beck to a new level and increase their draft stock? I absolutely believe so. I mean, when you look at Cam Ward before he came to Miami, he was considered a day three guy, maybe third or fifth round, or day two guy, third or fifth round in the NFL draft. After coming to Miami, working with Shannon Dawson, jumping all the way up to the first pick in the NFL draft. I think that's great. Jury's still out on where Carson Beck will go this year, but something tells me that his draft stock did go up from his time at Georgia. And we know, and we have heard, again, I understand we are in Kool-Aid season, but we are hearing great things about Darian Mensah coming out of Hecht. Dawson, who is 48, is entering his fourth season as Miami's offensive coordinator. The Hurricanes have finished in the top 40 nationally in scoring offense and yards per play in each of his first three seasons, including that aforementioned 2024 season in which he led with 537 yards per game and averaging 44 points per game in that season. Dawson, who previously served as an offensive coordinator at Houston and Southern Miss, has been a candidate for other head coaching positions the last two offseason cycles, most notably at Tulane and Coastal Carolina. Now, jumping across the ball like we were talking about earlier with Heatherman. Heatherman, meanwhile, is starting his second season at Miami, and for all intents and purposes, took a unit that went from a liability in 2024 to one of the biggest assets in 2025. Corey Hetherman orchestrated one of the best defensive turnarounds we have seen in decades in college football, taking it from one of the worst defenses in program history, maybe not on paper, but absolutely in execution, what it cost us, to become a top 5 scoring unit in the nation last year. Now, Miami saw marked improvements in yards allowed per game, going from 327 in 2024, which was ranked 27th nationally, to 294 in 2025, which jumped them up to the top 12 in the nation. We saw opposing teams only get about 4.67 yards allowed per play last year, which was a big improvement, which ranked them at 12th nationally as well, which was down from 5.27 yards in 2024, which was tied for 44th nationally. You're seeing big jumps. And then we got to talk about the biggest jump in the game, which was points allowed per game, which again, this is by far, this will be the bullet point that got in this race, which was jumping from number 68 to number 5 in the nation. Miami also led the nation last season with 50 sacks, ranking 5th in total yards and total tackles for a loss at 105 total tackles, and tied for 9th in total turnovers forced at 25. So, like I've been saying all year, pay that man his money. He is worth every bit of it. Both guys are. I think this is going to be a great sign for our program. Miami is, in my opinion, entering what I call its elite era. I've talked about this on other podcasts. We've kind of hinted at it on this podcast. I had talked about earlier or late last year, what could Miami be if it could keep this unit together, right? We obviously understand that there will probably never be another Saban Alabama team, right? Where you've got first rounders on your third team, right? That's probably never going to happen. But you could still build depth. You could still develop a ton of players. And when you look at Miami and you keep these coaches in, you can see not only the talent are they bringing in, but the talent they're developing. I mean, you also look at Miami, further proof of it entering its elite era. You have Darian Mensah ranked the number 1 QB by The Athletic. Rivals and On3 are ranking the Canes at number 6 in recruiting image, by the way, for this 2027 class, and we're not even done. And on top of that, Miami has had a top 10 class 3 of the last 4 years. The one year we did miss a top 10 class, we were number 15. So not that far off. I think this is a great vote of confidence for the program that has always, as long as I've been following the program since the early 90s, has always been a program that has been a stepping stone for the NFL and in later years for other college football jobs. I mean, you look at Howard Schnellenberger, Jimmy Johnson, Butch Davis, all of these guys left to go to the NFL. And those are just the head coaches. That doesn't even highlight the round robin that has been assistant and coordinator positions that we have seen over the last 3 or 4 decades at where, we catch a little heat, we get hot, we look good. And guess what? Coordinators are gone because they're getting better jobs. They're getting head coaching positions. All great. I understand that's the game. But to achieve the success that we achieved last year, to see where this program is going, the trajectory it's on, as Mario would put it, it's really nice to see that both Dawson and Heatherman have such confidence and loyalty to this program that they would sign an extension. Now, again, I'm not saying these guys are going to stay here forever. These extensions do not mean that they are going to stay here forever and that someone couldn't buy them out. But again, I definitely think that these guys are loyal to the program. Like I was saying earlier, Dawson had the opportunity to leave for Tulane, which is a great builder startup program as a head coach that you can get to. Coastal Carolina, not really sure where that program's at realistically. Don't really follow them. They're a G5 team. I think they were bowl division a couple of years ago. Either way, my point is it's not like these guys aren't getting offer positions. I definitely am sure that Heatherman was probably getting a bunch of phone calls towards the end of last season after that incredible run and seeing what he did again with one of the worst defenses in our program's history to, again, a top 5 defense, and to be sending 2 guys who, by the way, 4 years ago weren't considered top 10 picks, guaranteed almost to be top 10 picks, and Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor. Mezzi, as a matter of fact, I know about 3 years ago wasn't even considered a day one guy. And we know for sure he will and could even possibly jump Ruben Bain in the draft. So to see the development of those 2 guys and to see the output of those 2 guys under Heatherman, I think signed, sealed, delivered shows that Heatherman is worth every penny. We obviously know that what we saw with Cam Ward, what Dawson did with that, and even with Carson Beck to a certain extent, getting and squeezing all the juice out of that. I mean, let's just face it. We know what Carson Beck was last year. I don't think anyone was truly expecting him to be this Cam Ward, but guess what? Got us to the promised land. He got us to the national championship. Didn't win, but I still think Dawson was able to help design a system around Beck and his limitations that was still highly, highly successful. I think realistically, we're not going to have Heatherman and Dawson for probably more than maybe 2 or 3 years max, which is probably where the extension probably goes to. But I think not losing them either next year, hopefully, or even this year to be able to keep them in house is a great, great vote of confidence for Mario and what he's doing in the program and he's building. We haven't even gotten to talking about spring practice yet. I'm trying to get someone on the channel to talk about it who's seen these live practices because listen, I can sit here and I can canvas all of Twitter, all of YouTube, all of the articles and blog spheres and give you a report, but you're not going to believe me. You'll probably ridicule me. So I would love to get someone in here to talk about it, maybe push them and say, hey, are we drinking the Kool-Aid or how legit are we? My belief is we're doing really well. And all of the reports coming out of Green Tree are ecstatic. There's a ton of hope. There is a ton of optimism going into next season. And so that to me is proof of the great job that these 2 coordinators are doing. I think they both have taken our program to the next level, obviously with the help of Mario and Mario being the overall captain of this ship. So great things ahead for the program. I'm excited. I cannot wait till we get this spring game that's going to happen towards the end of this week in the book so we can kind of figure out where are we at with the depth chart, who's looking good, who needs to maybe tie up some things in the offseason going into fall camp. But guys, we have got another one in the books. Thank you all for watching. Try to get this one out quick and in a hurry. Until next week, be good, y'all. Win the weekend. And as always, go Canes.